And we're SpielMill.
And we have two new special guests with us today.
Yes, two new members of the SpielMill family. This is Frankie.
And this is Miss Marple.
Yes, and they are part of the reason, although they're not the main reason that we've been absent for a while. I don't even remember when we filmed our last video.
It's been a while. We had a special house guest for about 5 weeks, and
yes.
Jen's dad.
Yes, who is 92 and blind and deaf and uses a walker. So it was an adventure.
That was quite the adventure. And, you know, I'm disabled, so Jen had a lot going on in particular. We both did, but Jen had a lot going on.
We got the dogs 2 days before my dad showed up. So, and they were arriving the day we found out he had to come stay because my stepmother broke her hip. So that's where we've been. But that doesn't mean we haven't played games.
I'm going to set her down.
Yeah, I know. It's important.
We're back.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a small window into the chaos that has been. It has been chaos. But we have gotten some games in.
Sorry, I was making sure our dog didn't pee on me.
She sometimes is an excitement
She gets excited.
She does.
She pees.
She's pretty good. But, yeah.
She peed on the floor.
Yes, which we'll take care of after this.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're here to do a review. So that's a big introduction of the review.
Yes.
Of the board game Daybreak, which is a board game about climate change. And it's a cooperative board game where you work together as a team to try to successfully control climate change, I guess.
Reach drawdown, basically.
Yeah.
So that you're pulling more carbon out of the atmosphere than you are putting into it.
Exactly.
And it's designed by Matt Leacock. So it is... it's nothing like Pandemic, except it does have a little bit of a pandemic-y feel because the gameplay works where simultaneously, and I'll explain the mechanism in a minute, or you can, but everybody takes their turn, and then when they're done, the game takes its turn. And it's very pandemic-y in that it's going to wallop you.
Yep.
I mean, things are going to happen, and you're going to say, oh, shoot, and you're going to hope not to die and end the game right there.
Exactly. So gameplay mechanics. So basically this is a card playing game at its core. And it's, you know, like we said, it's cooperative. Each of us has our own hand of cards, but you put them face up so everybody can see. And then there are cards that allow you to swap cards between players. But each card has an action on it, and each card has tags on it. And the actions often require specific tags to trigger or to become more powerful. But you have 5 stacks in front of you, and you only have 5 actions, one for each stack. So you could actually do an action, cover it up with a card, another card, and do that action, but you couldn't, once you cover up that card, there's no getting it back.
Yeah, it's gone.
So it's interesting how you balance out the different stacks, the different cards. But that's sort of the core mechanic of the game. And then you have like these other things. There's a global card, which is a card that you can all tuck cards behind to activate, and it gives you some sort of extra power. And you get up to 4 of those, but you get 1 at a time. So you get 1, then you get another, and then you get another. And then after you have 4, you can keep drawing global cards, and you could swap them out. But usually you don't want to because you've activated the other ones, but it depends.
Yeah.
And then the other big thing, if you want to go into, is how the climate fights back. No, that's not right.
So there are crisis cards. Just from a purely mechanical standpoint, when the game begins, you deal out 3 every round. 1 face up. It's 1 face up, 2 face down. Am I? Yeah. And then as things get worse and worse, you deal out more of them. And they do things, they hurt you, right? Yep. So they can tell you to create communities in crisis. And the more communities in crisis you have, the fewer cards you get each round. And eventually you lose the game. They could add carbon to the atmosphere, which is going to accelerate, you know, the end of the game. They could tell you to remove cards for every every temperature band that you've gone up. So they're very punishing, obviously, and
but there are ways to fight them.
Yeah, you can totally mitigate them. There's cards that let you flip them over so you can see what they are. A lot of them have ways to mitigate them immediately if you can see them. So there are ways to help reduce the impact on the game. But then every card you tuck under there is a card that you don't have for your hand. So so you're trying to balance that.
Yeah, and the other aspect of this is you have it's like the planet die or planet crisis die, and you have to roll that. And the more
dice is in,
the warmer it gets, the more you have to roll it, and it just bad things happen.
Yeah, and so this is kind of like theme immersiveness as well as mechanics. The way it works is each player generates a certain amount of carbon, right? But they also have to produce energy to meet demand. If they don't meet demand, they get a community in crisis. But they generate carbon for factories, for dirty power plants, for agriculture, for food waste, for transportation. And then you can remove those by creating infrastructure that's like public transit, right? Or windmills instead of dirty power plants. So you can lower your carbon footprint. When when everybody's taken their turn, so everybody plays simultaneously, you count up how many carbon each person playing is emitting, and then how many are being captured by the board between the oceans and the forests, and then occasionally there's direct carbon capture. And it's the difference between those that raises the temperature. So if you produce 40 carbon and you capture 20, you're putting 20 carbon onto the temperature band, which is going to raise the temperature. And for each temperature band it goes up, you have a much more negative impact when it comes around to the game's stage.
Yeah, and I will say that aspect of it scales really well. The thermometer has 4 columns, and you play 1 of 4 players, and it's basically you have more columns available to you for more players. So yeah, the theme I think works really well. I even get annoyed because I'm not a fan of nuclear power, and when nuclear power comes out, I get annoyed and I won't use it.
Well, there is also a food waste card. Get rid of food waste, which is my favorite. I love that. Food waste is so bad for the environment. So it is really an interesting theme, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I think generating carbon based on your your infrastructure or lack thereof, and having ocean acidification means that you can't absorb more carbon, right? And so you have to remove some of the ocean tiles from it. It works really well. It's very on point for a theme.
And it works well because our forests and our oceans are our big carbon banks, so to absorb carbon. So
and of course
it reflects that pretty well.
You can add forests, you can add oceans, you can do things to help mitigate, along with creating your own infrastructure. You can plant trees and do things like that, which is always fun.
I will say that the only probably negative for me on the immersiveness thing is I've played enough times now. I don't even pay attention to what the card is anymore. I just pay attention to the action and the tags. So I kind of overlook it's public transit. I kind of often overlook that.
Because how many times have you played?
Almost 200. A BGA. I've been playing solo on BGA, and it's addictive.
We play. We've played a number of times, both 2-player and 4-player in person.
Yeah.
But we also play on BGA a lot, and so before we talk about the experience, which I think we're hinting at, we can talk about the creativity and originality. Yeah.
Well, first of all, it's just a great theme. I mean, Matt Leacock has designed all these games around these different, sometimes very important themes like pandemics. And for him to sort of dedicate to climate change is really great. This is just a theme that's really important to a lot of people. And it's really important to our planet. Well, not some people don't consider it important, but I mean, that's their problem. But unfortunately, it's all of our problem. But I think it's really nice to see a good game around this theme. And so I think in terms of creativity, originality, I think they've done a good job of going into a theme that's not really covered enough. There are a few games. You have CO2 from Vadel Lacerda, which is an excellent game as well. But you know, there are games around climate change, but I think this isn't. You know, there's not as many as there could be with one of the most pressing issues in our time. So,
and I'll say in terms of originality, in some ways it follows a familiar pattern for Matt Leacock and these sorts of cooperative games that he designs. In other ways, it is completely different. The card play, the gameplay is nothing like Pandemic. It doesn't feel anything like it. The only thing that feels like it is that sort of collective angst at the moment you start to reveal cards and say, oh, we're in trouble. But so I think it's very different from all of his other games in terms of the play experience.
It's not a reskin of things he's done in the past.
Right.
It borrows some basic concepts but most cooperative games borrow this now, where you do some good and then something bad happens and that kind of thing. That cycle that happens, you know. I mean, that's pretty common with all of your
exactly
cooperative games.
But and we've hinted a little bit at the experience in the fact that Jane has played it so many times, and I don't know how many I've played, but I've played a lot. We really, really love this game. It is so addictive. The card play, holy cannoli. Oh my God. If you like the triggers that you get a lot of times in roll and writes, people talk about that. You know, you do one thing and that triggers something and there's a cascade of it. This game has that in some ways.
And I think one thing that really keeps it vibrant from play to play is the challenge card system. Because, you know, honestly, if I just played the base game every time, so like I'm playing solo in particular, like I would just win probably 99% of the time. But with the challenge cards, there's a challenge card system. You can make it easier or you can make it harder or just different. And so you can play with that and add variety to the game, but also like make it harder, you know, you challenge yourself.
And the really good thing about those challenge cards is they're not universal. So you could take a harder one and another person could take an easier one.
In the same game.
In the same game. So you're really able to tailor the play experience for each person at the table.
Right. There are universal ones that all players can. So if everybody's good at the game at the table, you could take one that affects everybody.
Right.
But there are ones that affect individuals, she's saying. So like that's really useful. I really like that.
What I love is when you get to very close to the end, the 5th or the 6th round, and you are really close to drawdown and it's all in, and what you start doing is just like maxing out your actions. You know, you take one of the actions that you've had that maybe you've been using every round and it's really great and you love it and it's the best action you have, but you're really close to the end, so you cover it up. You put something else on top of it that's going to be able to use the tag on that card and all the other ones in the stack. And then you've got this other really powerful action. And sometimes you can do that 3 or 4 times. You can cover up one of those cards multiple times to just really maximize those end game turns. That is so satisfying.
Yeah, this reminds me about the one challenge card I hate. Not that I can't win with it or anything like that, but I hate it because it kills the tag stack thing. It's called lack of depth, and you're only allowed 4 cards per stack. Oh, it just kills the fun. I want to build these stacks.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it's no fun. You have to discard cards when you add a 5th card, and which you can do clever things with that, and it can be fun. But the real fun part of this is building these really lovely stacks of tags and playing cards on top and making them super powerful actions. And yeah, that's the part I really love. And then I challenge myself. I'm like, okay, I've met the objectives. Let's see if I can get 0 dirty power, 0 emissions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
So, you know, go the extra mile. So anyway, what are our ratings for this game?
My God, this is a 10.
Yeah, this is
out of the park.
This is a 10. I love this.
Top. We played this and I was like, I think this is going to be top 100. I think this might be top 10.
It's going to be up there. I'm not sure how high exactly.
I'm not sure either, but it's way up there. It is really, really hits all of the bells and whistles for us. We really love this.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's addictive, and it's just fun.
Yeah. And there are sometimes you have a bad game. Not every game is a humdinger. I mean, there are times where you're just trying to get the cards. You never get the cards. But I kind of like that, because that means that it's not always the best game. And honestly, when those games are over, I'm like, I want to play again.
Yeah, I keep thinking I have the formula down, and then I have a game where it's like, oh, I just can't generate power this game. I can't get it. Like, I'm just not getting the right cards, you know? Like, so it's, and of course I'm turning down all the nuclear.
Yeah. Or things are going really well and you think you have it, and then something happens. Like one of the cards that comes up that it's just like the one bad card that will destroy everybody's game. So it's really, really fun. There's a lot of, obviously, replayability here. This is one that I think is going to be in our favorites for a long time before we get even close to sick of this.
And definitely your game for Earth Day or any themed game day you're doing around the environment. This would be a fantastic conclusion as both a cooperative game and for its overall theme of fighting climate change, or against climate change.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want the temperature to be there.
One other thing I want to say about this that I really love is that it has social resilience as a category.
Yes.
And so it recognized the importance of communities. That's like, hence communities in crisis is one way to lose. So it's not just about, getting as much green as you can. It's about making sure that you're also taking care of the people that are living in this environment. And so they're not getting sick from emissions. They're, able to be healthy and have access to food.
And I should mention there's a bit of asymmetry in the game in the sense that each of you plays a different world power group of countries. And so you can be the USA, you could be China, you could be Europe, or you can be the majority world. And so I really like that. The majority world is the toughest to play. You start with the most communities in crisis. Your power demand goes up the fastest. You have the most emissions. And it's just like, it's also a good way to sort of delegate if you have a more experienced player in the group and a less experienced player. The more experienced player can get majority world because it's tougher to play.
Yeah.
So, but that asymmetry is interesting. You all are kind of doing the same thing, but everyone starts with 5 unique action cards to their country or group of countries or block or whatever you want to call it. And and it's because of that your strategy is different for each group, for each block.
Yeah.
A little bit, and especially early in the game, because until you built up your thing, you're like this one country over here might be good at handing cards to other players,
right,
which is useful. Or this country over here might be really good at ramping up their power real fast.
Or you might be the USA and have terrible transportation infrastructure.
Right, and so you have
to get rid of cars.
You have to get rid of like 7 cars. Where everyone else is like 3, 2.
Super immersive.
So very true. So yeah, it's a great game, great theme. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, highly recommend. Highly recommend. So. And I think even if you don't like the theme, which if you do, I don't know why you're watching us, because we're like, I can't imagine. But even if you don't like the theme, the gameplay is amazing.
Right. So, all right. So that's our review of Daybreak. Definitely approvals from SpielMill.
Yes.
SpielMill approved.
SpielMill plus Spiel Pups.
Spiel
Approve
Pups.
it. Yes.
Approved. So I hope you don't mind bearing with us as we introduced our cute little doggies. We just love them so much.
We really do. We really spoil them.
Remember.
Every day. About that. I was going to say, hopefully we'll have more videos coming in a better cadence now, because things have... I shouldn't say that. Things have...
But we're playing more games at the table too.
Yeah.
So we'll be more things to talk about.
Yep, absolutely. So now you can say it.
Remember.
Every day that you game
is a holiday. Bye.
Bye.